In this movie, I'll show you how to crop an image non-destructively so that you don't permanently delete any of its pixels. And that way, you can go back and change your mind anytime you like. Now notice that we're looking at the image as I cropped it in the previous movie. And I have the crop tool selected here inside the toolbox. And yet, I'm not seeing the crop boundary, which can be a little confusing. To bring it back though, all you have to do is click inside the image like so. Now let's say I want to bring back some of the jacket on the right-hand side of the image, so I'll just go ahead and drag this right boundary out, at which point I'll reveal white, or whatever color you see down here at the bottom of the toolbox, which is what's known as the background color. And the reason that we're not exposing any more of the image, even if I drag any of the other boundaries out here, is because I permanently cropped those pixels away in the previous movie. So what I'm going to do here is just press the escape key in order to abandon that crop operation. And the reason that we have no extra data outside what we're seeing on screen is because we're working on what's known as a flat background. So my guess is that you can see the Layers panel on your screen, but if not, go up to the Window menu and choose the Layers command. Do not choose the command if it has a check mark in front of it, however, because that will hide the panel. Assuming you can see your Layers panel, notice this item right there, Background. Anytime you see the background inside the Layers panel, you're looking at a flat image that is entirely housed inside this rectangular boundary. So in other words, all you have is what you can see on screen. Now in my case, I want to bring back those pixels that I got rid of. And the easiest way to do that is to go up to the File menu and choose the Revert command. And that will go ahead and restore the saved version of the image. Now notice a funny thing right there. If I had chose the Revert command inside any other application, I would have gotten an alert message asking me if I'm absolutely sure that I want to abandon all unsaved changes. Now the reason I don't get that message in Photoshop is not because Photoshop doesn't care about my unsaved changes. Rather, it's because I can bring them back anytime I like, just by going up to the Edit menu and choosing Undo Revert. Or I can press that standard keyboard shortcut of Control-Z here on the PC or Command-Z on the Mac, and that will go ahead and bring back my cropped image like so. I don't want that, however, so I'm going to press Control-Z or Command-Z again to redo the revert operation, and then I'll go ahead and just drag inside the image like so in order to draw a freeform crop boundary. And before I commit my changes, I'll just go ahead and turn off this checkbox up here in the options bar, delete cropped pixels. So if you turn that checkbox off, you will keep everything that you're cropping. And let me show you what that looks like. I'll go ahead and press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac. And now notice here inside the Layers panel, instead of that flat background, I now have an independent layer, which Photoshop automatically names Layer 0. And to get a sense for what that looks like, I'll go ahead and switch to the Move tool, which is located up here at the top of the toolbox. The Move tool, by the way, allows you to move selected pixels or layers inside Photoshop. And in this case, I can just drag this layer around and notice that I have more image available to me than what I'm seeing inside the four walls of what's known in Photoshop as the canvas. So in other words, we have a canvas right here that's smaller than the image itself. And so I can reveal more of the image up here at the top, or I can drag it upward like so. I can also drag it back and forth. If you end up seeing a checkerboard pattern, that's telling you that you've gone too far and you're revealing this transparency in the background. So what I want to do is go up to the View menu and choose the Snap command to turn it back on. And then I'll go ahead and drag this layer down so that it snaps into alignment. Do you see those magenta lines? That indicates that I'm snapping the image so that it aligns to the bottom and right edges of the canvas. All right, now let's say I don't quite like the way the image is cropped. I want to adjust it a little bit. Well, all I have to do is switch back to the Crop tool. Again, I can get it by pressing the C key, and then I can drag these boundaries as much as I want, and I will continue to reveal more of the image. Now, obviously, if I go too far, like so, I'm going to reveal transparency. And of course, assuming I don't want that, I can just go ahead and drag that left edge in. And then when I like what I see, I'll just go ahead and press the Enter key or the Return key on the Mac to accept that modification. And because Delete Crop Pixels is turned off, up here in the options bar, all I did was apply another non-destructive modification to the canvas while the image itself remains entirely intact on an independent layer. And that's how you crop an image entirely non-destructively here inside Photoshop.